we're going live. Oh shit, we're live!
Oh my God, what? And that is the official new theme song of Mind Gap Podcast. You're welcome.
You know what I'm saying?
Doug, I know exactly what you're saying.
You do know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I do.
You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying?
Shit.
Oh, shit.
I saw that you saw one of the things that I posted, which was the
I saw both of them.
Oh, you saw both of them?
I saw both of them. They were both fantastic.
I'm glad.
The second one got me only because your complete disregard for what was happening to Noah at the time. You're like, nature's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's like,
that's kind of how I played that game in general. If you're not familiar, I played Red Dead Online with Noah and Seth last Friday for the video game stream, and it was perfect. It was magnificent. It was everything I thought it would be, because I barely played it. I played just enough to get out of the tutorial to be able to play with other people, and then from that point on, it was just a clusterfuck, and it was a lot of fun. Seth was playing as some like German guy named Augie. I was playing as Doug, Andy America. So,
you played as Andy.
I was just Andy America. I was like, I'm just gonna be Andy America is playing. Apparently his great grandfather, Hep Conway. Nice. From Missouri.
Yeah.
So that's he's like
Missouri Conways.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. All right.
Hep Conway.
And that's also how he answers in the affirmative.
Mm-hmm. Hip. Yeah. And Noah's playing his nickname's Gilk. It's like a MILF but different.
Yep.
Yeah.
That tracks.
Yeah.
I like that Seth was taking shots at the cougar while you were just admiring. Like he was trying to do something, and then claiming it for his own.
He did. He skinned it and everything. Like he took everything for it. I was just like, man, life is a highway. I will ride it all night long. Watch out for mountain lions, though.
It was that scene specifically was miraculously played. So
yes,
or marvelously played. No, it was miraculously played too.
Yeah, it was great. Because that mountain lion just like pounced all over Noah, like big time.
He did. It was just like, he's mauling me. Please help.
Anybody, shoot it.
Your horse, you're like, nature's magnificent.
You're like, that is a beautiful creature right there. You know what I mean? Yes. Yeah, I had a good time putting those clips together. And there's another one coming. So from that stream coming later this week. So y'all best be on the lookout.
Y'all better be on the lookout for it.
Better be on the lookout for it. Getting my tonguing up,
Well, that's what you got to do. You prep by tonguing.
You do.
Yeah. That's how you prep the mouth organ.
So you prep the mouth for, eating steak. That's how you eat the steak. You got to tongue it to death.
Is that how you eat it when you do eat steak?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So
I savor it because I can't do anything except tongue it,
Right. And so you macerate it by pushing it against the roof of your mouth with your tongue until until it resembles pulled beef, and then you slowly digest it.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Like the sand creature in Return of the Jedi, Yeah.
I like that. Yeah.
I mean, people say this steak is tender. I was like, I'll be the judge of that. We'll see how long it takes me to consume this, A
lot of people don't know Doug has an incredible bite strength to his jaw. Like he has the amount of pressure that he can generate. It rivals that of a pit bull.
It's true. And with great bite power comes great responsibility. So I don't use it all the time, know.
You've never seen him do it on the podcast for good reason.
Mm-hmm. Nope.
Yeah.
I don't bite. No, sir. I've had a hard time just dropping that accent, to be quite honest with you, ever since I started doing it. I just around the house, I'm like, my goodness, what do we got going on here? Just, it's the only accent I can really do consistently.
How does Jill, is she okay with it? Or is
she's fine.
It's about time.
She doesn't care. She's like, she goes, it's about damn time. I'm like, skip it a bow, dig a bit boppity, hip it a high, little bit bippity. You know? That song?
House.
That's a great song. We have a great house. Really fun house.
Yes.
My favorite thing is Natalie will just, I'm like, she lets me know that she's coming upstairs and she'll go, squawk! Squawk! It reminds me of that character Squanchy from Rick and Morty, who's like, yeah, man, I'm squanching right now. So when she says squawk, I keep thinking she's going to say squanch.
You need to teach her squanch.
Yeah, squanch!
Just for your own entertainment, if nothing else.
The stuff that she says. The other day, she complimented me for basically yes-anding her. She did something, and I basically just did right back. She's like, Dad, I like how you play with me. I'm like, I will always play with you. Always.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yes, and, girl. Yes, and.
Natalie, that was a sacred vow that I made when you were born that you don't know about. But I said I will always fucking yes and my daughter.
Yes. I'm glad you said that in a better way. Because I was like, when you really emphasized the fuck part, and I was like, oh, no, where are we going? Where are we going here?
I just did?
Yeah, you really, really put a lot of beef on the fuck, and I was like, oh, and then you finished. So
I have to go back and watch the tape.
Yeah, it felt pretty like it was going to a dark place, and I was like, well, okay, we haven't hit record yet, so I guess that's fine.
No, it was a genuine place. It was genuine.
Sometimes my mind finishes the sentence, and I'm like, ah. Yeah.
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 Yep. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and start recording here. And 3, 2, 1. Howdy doody, everybody. Welcome to My Gap Podcast. I'm Doug.
I'm Justin.
And I told you, I just slip in and out of this accent now. For whatever reasons, it's stuck in my brain. And I'm like, I said, self, you got to knock that off. Because people don't want to listen to this. But here I am. Willy woo.
But guess what? We ain't lost none listeners and or viewers yet.
That's right. Speaking of listeners, hello, Richie Armour. Howdy doody to you, sir. Willy woo.
Howdy doody from across the pond.
Yeah. You go fishing in that pond. What kind of fish you get out of there? You get yourself any catfish? I love me some catfish. Fried catfish. They say that thing's a bottom feeder, but I'll tell you what, it feeds my tummy, and it's good.
And it comes out my bottom.
And it comes out my bottom, because that right there, that's nature. And nature's a beautiful thing. Right.
I read that in a book somewhere.
Everybody poops, you know what I'm saying?
Everybody dookies. That's what they said.
Mm-hmm. All right, well, that's enough of that for now. Well, hey, everybody. I did a video game live stream last week of Red Dead Online where I played Andy America, everyone's favorite American. And
Andy America has not left us since.
No, Andy America has stuck around a little bit, as far as how that stuff goes. And I just kind of keep talking like that around the house. And right now, I'm slipping right back into it. It's happening again. Willy, willy, woo.
Can you see how actors, when they do 3 months of a character, have a really hard time shedding that character after doing this for one weekend?
Yeah. Not even a weekend. I did it for 2 hours on a Friday night.
That's true.
Also, right. I lean on it because it's the only accent I can kind of do well. Like, as far as, like, keeping it, holding it, and being consistent with it. So, I'm like, that's the only one I can do. I can't really do any other ones very well. I have to focus so hard, and even then I'm bad at them. Even British kind of comes and goes. I slip into different regional dialects where I'm like, oi, what's this about? Which wasn't even, I said a boot, Oi, what's this about? It's a bit of a whiffle, isn't it? It's just whatever I can get out there. And then sometimes I can do the very I don't know, the very hidey-tidy kind of British, but that's not really British. Almost transatlantic is what that we're doing in here. You know what I'm saying? And then the train's going around the track, and oh my gosh, it's the dog, and the dog's chasing the bird, and oh, they're going to get it. Oh my God, it comes in first. Hey! I don't know. I can't hang on to that stuff very well. Just dipping in and out, That's how Natalie got made.
If you want, I can just go, I can make some tea if you just want to keep going.
Welcome to the one-man show. Boop, 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 boop. I know anyone that speaks like that. Nobody does, Richie. Nobody does. Nobody does.
Richie, obviously, you need to meet more of your own countrymen. What Doug's doing is a spot-on British.
Pretty spot on, from what I understand.
And that's That's the only way that I've heard anyone from English.
A lot of it too is I lose confidence as I'm saying it, as I'm doing it. I'm like, oh, I missed it. I'm losing it. Oh God! It's like when you're dreaming. I don't know if you've ever had this, but I dream and in my dream I'm like, I can fly, and I've got it for a second, but then for some reason I'm like, no, I can't, and I start to fall. And I'm like, no, you have to focus. I'm like, too bad, you're falling. And I'm like, ah! It's the same way with accents, you know.
Once you lose that, you can't gain that back in a dream. Once you become self-aware of the fact that you're doing it, you're dreaming. It's over.
Yeah.
I've never been able to control it in a dream, personally.
I can do invisibility sometimes. It kind of comes and goes. It makes it for a really great, like, tense scene because I'm like, I can do it. I'm like, haha. But all of a sudden I'm like, can you? It's like, flickers a little bit. Someone's like, I can see him. I'm like, no, you can't. No, you can't. No, you can't. I'm invisible. But it's fun. It makes it for like real great television
like
in my head.
In
Ghost?
Ant-Man on the Wall.
Oh. What?
The character Ghost in Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Ah.
How she phases in and out, and like sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't quite work. Yeah.
I thought you were like, it's like Ghost in the movie Ghost, you know?
No. See, you did the thing where you finished the sentence in your head and you didn't let me finish.
That's where I wanted it to go. That's where I wanted it to go. It's like Ghost and Ghost Dad, you know?
You mean I fucked Patrick Swayze?
What? No. Demi Moore fucked Whoopi Goldberg, who was being possessed by Patrick Swayze. Let's get it right.
Sorry, I didn't. You're right. I need to do that justice.
Right? That's something that when someone pointed that out to me, I was like, oh, that's a weird scene.
Can't unsee.
And we don't talk about it ever again. Where it's like Whoopi Goldberg's just like, he gets out, she's like, where was I? It's like, you don't want to know where I was inside you. You're like, whoa.
She just pulls out this ball gag. She's like, do I want? Never mind. I don't.
That's not a ball gag.
I'm going to go wash up.
Or the fact that Demi Moore is like, you are real in this other body. I'm totally down to do this. Let's go. Like, just, okay. I guess that's love, man. You know?
Hey, look. Is this love that I'm feeling?
Love, the kind you clean up with a mop and bucket, like the lost catacombs of Egypt. Only Yahweh knows where we stuck it.
That's true. Hieroglyphics. I want to be specific. I want to be down in your South Sea. But I got this notion that the motion of your ocean, something about advisory.
Mm-hmm. Parental advisory. Yeah.
Was on that album.
Yes. It's
Thanks,
true.
Tipper Gore.
Yeah. Tipper. What kind of name is that? You know?
Actually, no, was it Gore? No, it was It was Nancy Reagan, right?
Whatever. Let's go back to Tipper. What a dumb name. That sounds like something you name a cow. Oh, there's old Tipper out there, you know, falling over again.
I personally like the name Tipper.
Okay. You do. Let's see.
I think.
How many people are named Tipper?
I like that you think you're going to get an accurate number based off.
Well, I'm going to mynamestats.com, and you know this is going to be real shit. I now just have a virus. Well, here we go. Tipper is ranked as the 43,838th most popular family name in the United States, with an estimated population of 636. That's more than I thought.
So it's not last.
It's not last. The name is in the 94th percentile.
What is the last name on there? What is the least commonly named thing? Can you sort by that?
I'd love to. Least common first name in the U.S. There's 106th least popular baby names. 10 rarest baby names in the U.S. Let's try that.
10 rarest.
I guess let's say least popular. Let's try that. 10 rarest. Hadley? Hadleigh. Hadley?
Hadley Lamar.
Zendaya? Okay. Or Zendaya. All right. Louisa? Oh. Dixie? Okay. Yeah. I don't know too many Dixies.
I don't think I've met a single Dixie.
Ariadne? Yeah, that one.
Ariadne?
Ariadne. Ariadna. That's like old school shit right there.
Interesting. I don't know that I've ever heard that name.
There was a character in a movie that's called Ariadne. I can't remember which was. Stone? Someone named their kid Stone? That's an actual name?
I would so name my kid
Number of babies named in 2019, 209. Wow.
Name Stone?
Yeah.
That's still more than I would think.
Guess what this means? Dweller by the stone or the rocks.
No. Man,
oh, there's one of them stone living in the rocks looking to ambush you. They're going to get you.
Richie, was that better?
Oh, Here's a good one. 7.
I was going to say, I wonder if 7's on the list, because that's an old Seinfeld reference.
Meaning, not available. It's a number. That's what it says.
Not available. It's a number.
I don't know how you say this. Dhruv? D-H-R-U-V?
D-H-R-U-V.
Richie goes, I'm so offended right now. Ayan. All right. A-A-Y-A-N. And then Rome. Yeah, I can't say I've never met anyone. I met Roman, but not Rome.
Sure.
Interesting.
Those definitely are rare baby names.
Yeah. Well, apparently, yeah, with Rome having only 208 babies named that in 2019, it's the rarest name in the U.S.
Wow. How about that? We got there.
Yeah.
We got there. Rome.
And then here's some of the least popular baby names. We've got.
Didn't we just did?
No, that was like, it's just least used.
That was least used. These are actual ones that are people dislike, actively dislike.
This is by year the least popular ones.
Okay.
Yeah,
Right.
and also Thor's not a god. All right, starting in 2007, Leroy, Carlo. 2009's Trevin. That just sounds like a Missouri name.
That was
Hey,
the least used baby name.
hey,
of that
Trevin,
year.
get the fuck out of the garbage. Raccoons are gonna bite you again. God damn it, Trevin. 2010's Keyshawn. 2011 is Cameron, spelled with a K.
Ooh.
2012's Camden with a K and a Y.
2012 was lazy. That was just lazy.
2013 is Graham with an A-E. G-R-A-E-M-E. Graham.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
I don't. Here's the thing. If I had someone who is applying with the name Graham and it was spelled that way to a job, I would immediately not hire them.
That's illegal.
No, that's the correct answer, is what it is.
2014 was Reagan. I feel like that's a girl's name, honestly.
Is this for boys?
Yeah.
Interesting.
2015 was Javion. 2016 was Bodie. Or Bode, depending how, they're going to be called Bode most of their life. B-O-D-E. Hey, it's Bode. It's Bodie or Bode. And then 2017 was Jax from Mortal Kombat 2.
Dude, come on. That's a great name. Jax.
That's an awesome one. And some of the girls ones, Kya! It's K-Y-A. Kya! Dia, Gretchen, Carly with a K, Damaris, Sophie, Kaylin, Cambria, Sydney, Kensington, and Alora.
Kaylin, Cameron. Wait, what was the?
Kaylin, Cambria, Sydney, Kensington, Alora.
All right. Is Kensington with a C, just to be different?
No, it's with a K.
Okay. What about Kaylin?
Kaylin is K-A-E-L-Y-N-N.
Oh,
K-A-E-L-Y-N-N. Kaylin.
oh my God. Kaylin.
Yeah, Kaylin!
Hey, Kaylin.
Kaylin, go get Trevin out of the garbage.
The raccoons are going to bite him in the butt again.
Will you please look after your brother? God damn it. I'm trying to drink this Everclear and forget my life.
I'm trying to drink this Everclear so I can go to sleep and be invisible.
I'm going to try it tonight. Everclear usually makes me have weird dreams, but I think tonight's the night. My son is Kaylin, but it's spelled C-A-E-L-E-N.
Right.
Not K-A-E-L-Y-N-N. Big difference.
I think it's Kaylin.
Kaylin.
I don't think it's Kaylin. I think it's Kaylin.
Y'all want to try some Everclear? Says Goblin plays it. Hey, y'all need to start your car? Well, I got some Everclear. That ought to get it going. I knew a guy.
C-A-E-L-E-N. I think that makes sense.
That looks like way more prestigious. And I'm not just saying this because I like Richie. I didn't want him to feel bad that we're making fun of the name. But Kaylin, like spelled like that seems like legit. Like that could be a king.
Right. One of my old managers is named Kaylin. And like she spells it C-A-L-E or C-A-L-E-N. Yeah. So like a normal way of spelling, not K-A-Y-L-I-Y.
K-A-E.
Doesn't matter.
L-Y-N-N.
Right.
Kaylin, Maribeth, Alan.
Alan. Look here, Alan.
That's all I could think of was Alan. I miss you, Alan.
I miss you, Alan.
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 Oh, man.
You got a job for me, Alan? I'll come down there, fix whatever you need.
I'll fix your pipes.
I'll fix your pipes, Alan. I'm not a plumber, but I lay pipe, Alan.
Okay, Forrest.
It just gets worse.
Each sentence he just gets worse and worse, slower and slower. What other characters can we make? Let's go. Let's try and make other characters. Let's do other voices. Welcome to the voiceover show.
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
Voiceover episode.
Episode 382.
Episode 382. We're doing voices. How about that one, Richie? How'd that one sound? That sound good? It sound good to your ears and your sensitivities, your delicate sensibilities? Oh, wait. Do you hate the Irish? Is that how that works?
I mean, typically, I think it depends. Well, look, I don't know.
Justin, speak on behalf of Richie. How does he feel about the Scottish and the Irish?
If he's a true Englishman, then he should have a pretty white hot rage against both of them.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
I was filling in
more
this.
So, as I understand it, more so against the Irish. But who am I to speak?
Who? How do we know? We just know that history says that England subjugated a lot of those people. You know,
I love all of them.
Yes,
that's just me.
Yeah. Well, I come from Scots area, but no one gives a shit because I'm a mutt. So we've talked about this. The people that are like, I'm actually half Italian, you know, and I come from this part. It's like, you're American. Like, stop it.
It's pretty much like everyone in the UK. They just don't like. Oh, okay, got it. So it goes the opposite way.
Yeah. Gotcha.
English are like, hey, we're friends with everybody, and everyone else is like, I don't know about that.
Yeah. Kind of like white people in America. They're like, we're great. People are like, no, you're not. You smell like wet dogs all the time for some reason.
I'm just pulling up my ancestry because I want to. When you said a mutt, I want to see if there's been any updates to it because they.
To your ancestry?
Yeah, because the more data they get in, the more they can hone in on it more. Hold on, let's see your profile. Let's see what I am here, Doug. Can you guess? This will be fun.
Swedish.
Can you guess what the majority of me is? Here we go. I just pulled it up.
Are you associated with the agency known as S.H.I.E.L.D.?
Is this Ask Intent? I love it.
I'm going to say with your last name, I'm going to say Swedish. That's going to be my guess.
That is a good, and for a long time I operated under that assumption, but I am technically 38% Norway, and that is the highest percentage I have in my.
Guess what? Norway, Sweden, same place as far as I'm concerned.
I'm 14% Sweden and Denmark, which they lump together for some reason.
Yeah, because fuck those guys. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I mean, who can tell, right?
Right.
They're not different countries. Fuck them.
Here's the thing. If you go down and look at my entire list, it is no surprise. Like there's nothing on here that you're like, didn't expect that. It is every translucent. It's Norway, Scotland, Sweden, Germanic Europe, England, Ireland, and Wales.
You're like boring white, boring white, boring white.
That's it.
You know,
it's just nothing fun at all, and it's such a bummer.
I know.
I always wished I was. I think we might have talked about this, but I always wished I had some, like, 75% this thing, so I could hang my hat on it. But like with 38% Norway, 38%. What is that? That's not even. I'm not even half something.
Most people aren't these days. You know what I mean? If you're from America, you know.
I know. It's just. I always wished I had something I could hang my hat on like that.
Boy, poor Natalie.
You know how much Swedish you are, or Scottish you are?
Fuck if I know. I don't know. I know there's 4 countries when I was doing some sort of half-ass genealogy project in high school, and it was Scottish, because Cochrane is a Scottish name. Mm-hmm. There was English, which is boring. Then there was, I think, a bit of Swedish. And then there was another one. I can't remember what it was, but white. Yeah, like it was. And then poor Natalie, it's like, you are an amalgamation of a bunch of horse shit. Like when she does this, if she ever does that, I'm like, it's going to be boring for you because Jill's maiden name is Whitmer, Germanic. It's like, it's all the same. Like we all came from the same place. It's nobody cares. We come from our father's balls.
Very, I think it was Hungary and it was Hungarian and Slovakian, I think, or Polish. Hungarian and Polish, I think, was the two. It was like, you are this. just nothing out. Like you were.
This is all you are.
Which is what she assumed based off of her how her family talks. I think it was my stepmom. Her maiden name was Del Ponte, and they thought they were, for a long time, we are very much from Italian descent, and she got her ancestry back, and I don't know that there was any Italian in there. And I was like, it fascinates me because I'm like, how does that oral history being passed down get changed that much?
I think part of it's also wishful thinking,
Yeah, I guess, but yeah.
Because I go by the fact that Cochrane is legitimately a Scottish name. Like I've seen the Cochrane crest and whatever, all that nonsense. But how much of that am I? I've leaned more on the Scottish part of it because Braveheart came out when I was younger, so it was like, Scottish people are cool, but whatever. I imagine like if I took that test, they're like, actually, you're not Scottish at all. I'd be like, oh, well, how about that?
Wouldn't make a difference to you.
Yeah, there's this amazing.
Have you ever thought about taking the test?
What's that?
Have you ever thought about doing ancestry?
Listen, you know me, I'm pretty easygoing for the most part, but I don't like the idea of giving some random company my DNA. Like, I don't want to be like, hey, here you go, have this. Do with it? Same thing with these face apps.
That half cheeky.
I know. It's like, it's like the people that have, the face apps. They're like, oh, check this out. It's like, yeah, they are capturing your face.
Sure.
And they have access to it. Same thing like now this place just has a bunch of DNA from a whole bunch of different people and they just have it there. It's like,
right.
Do they have a clause where like, when you're done with this, we will dispose of it? I'm guessing not.
I don't know.
And regardless, they've done all that stuff. So I might, maybe not the company itself being nefarious, but what if some agency was like, hey, we need to get some information. Here's a subpoena. Will 23andMe or whomever be like, no? Or they'll be like, yeah, sure, here you go. I got to apply, the law asks for your DNA. I got to give them your DNA. I'm just like, I don't need that. I don't need that. Thank you.
Okay, that's
I'm
fair.
fine. I usually am not too paranoid about that sort of stuff. But I'm like, I don't really want to be like, they're like, jizz in this cup and send it to us. I don't feel like doing that. I did that once already. Fertility test, and it was weird. I don't want to do that for strangers. That was still a stranger, but I don't want to mail it.
I wouldn't recommend jizzing into a cup and mailing it to anybody.
No,
for any reason. Yeah.
That's multiple crimes. I think is what that is.
You're towing the line there.
And also, sample won't live to wherever it's going. It just won't. It'll be dead by the time you get there. It won't be good. So
well, that's what I'm wondering too. I mean, sure, they have the data on it, but like, is the actual sample, like, are you worried about the sample living on or just the data from the sample living on?
Well, it's just like, I don't know how the process works. What do they do with your DNA? Like they, obviously they store it, they process it somehow, and then that information is stored somewhere. And so, are there genetic markers that are in their database? Like, what I mean? Like, I don't know how all of it works. I'm just saying words that I've heard on TV and movies. I don't know how it fucking works. So, I don't know. Are they going to build dinosaurs out of my DNA? Is this Jurassic Park?
Right.
Jurassic
Years
World.
Later, there's another Doug walking around because they had saliva. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like I'm sure it's probably being overly paranoid, but it's just one of those things where I'm like, I don't care enough about that. I exist now. Yeah. I don't really give a shit what my family lineage is because I'm in America. My family's been in America for several generations, and we're a bunch of white dummies. So,
yep.
Even if I found out, oh, you're 50% this, I'd be like, who fucking cares? Like, what am I going to do with that,
Here's the thing. I found out exactly what you think you might find out.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Right. I'm like, but now right?
Well,
for
now
sure.
There's no, right. Well, yeah, exactly. I thought, look, I used to hang my hat on. I'm pretty much almost all Swedish.
Yeah.
No dice.
Yeah. I don't need to know it that much. I'm like, I'm good. I'm fine. It's totally fine. I am who I am, and that's who I am. I'm Popeye, the motherfucking Sailor Man, bitch. That should be a sound drop.
Mark it.
Mark it. Mark it. I thought I had something else I was going to say, and I got distracted. But that's the way the news goes. So we'll do some housekeeping real quick. That's what you guys get since I fucking forgot what I was going to say. I lost my train of thought. Real quick, y'all. If you're listening to this, great, fantastic on your audio in your ears. That's great. Also check us out on YouTube, youtube.com/mindgappodcast. If you are watching us on youtube.com, hit that like button. If you feel extra special, hit the subscribe button. It means a lot. We're dangerously close to 300 subscribers at this point in time. So everyone who's been subscribing, thank you very much. We appreciate it. We're marching forward. We're doing our stuff, and you're part of that. So thank you very much. Seth goes, Doug's ancestry is 30% Scotch, 30% Dutch, 40% Rudy. Yep. Yep. Yes. I love this too. Goblin Plays it says Popeye promoted spinach because someone missed a decimal point and thought it contained 10 times the iron. Later they corrected the mistake and it's still high in iron. Yes, I read about that.
I didn't know this.
There's a typo. People are like, spinach is so good for you. And it's like, I mean, it's good, but
I had no idea.
Not that good. They're like, look how much iron this has. They're like, holy shit. They're like, nah. And you should totally eat it because it's a leafy green, but it's not all it's cracked up to be.
That's fascinating. I didn't know that, Goblin. That's awesome.
Absolutely. We do podcast live. We live stream on Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Central at youtube.com/mindgappodcast. And I also host a video game live stream on Fridays at 8 p.m. Central. This past Friday, we did Red Dead Online and we had a fucking blast. Let me tell you what. Andy America, Augie, I don't know Augie's last name. Hitler? I don't know. I don't know who Seth was playing as, but I kept forgetting his name. I think I got Augie right. And then Noah was playing as Gilky McGilkers. And we were just running around in the open plains, getting into trouble. It was a lot of fun. You can check out that VOD. There's also several shorts that I've compiled of some of the best moments. So you can check that out on our YouTube page as well. Glutenstein. There we go. I was close. Augie Glutenstein. Yeesh. Whatever. It's all the same. You can also check the description for the link to the Discord.
23andMe, it's all the same.
23andMe, whatever, man. It's all the same place. You can check out our Discord. Link is in the description down below. Thanks to the couple people that just joined recently. It's great. Always great to meet new people. Check out our merch at redbubble.com. And check out, if you're feeling so inclined to throw some money away, patreon.com/mindgappodcast. We appreciate you. Yes, thank you.
Sir.
Thank you. So I guess getting into some of the juicy bits for the week. I wanted to do a follow-up on the Wizards of the Coast Open Gaming License, also known as the OGL or the OGL. There was an update from Kyle Brink on D&D Beyond, basically addressing the leak of the OGL 1.1 or 1.2 or no 1. Who gives a shit? It was one of those. So to recap, if you didn't hear about this, there was a leak of this new open gaming license, which basically allows players to create their own content, also for players and people to essentially generate content and make money off of it using D&D and things like that. It's an open gaming license. And there was a leak that said that this new version was going to essentially make people register their content with Wizards of the Coast. Wizards of the Coast was going to take 20 to 25% if you made over, I think I got the number wrong. I said $750, which is not correct. I think it was $750,000. May have been what it was, or I don't know. It was something along those lines. It involved a 7, a 5, and a 0. And they were also potentially going to put something about whatever you create, that Wizards of the Coast would have a irrevocable license for, everything moving forward, all of your stuff. So they could potentially own your stuff. And people were like, hell nah, we're not going to do that. So there was this post that came out from Kyle Brink that basically said, they're re-looking at this and, they apologize because more or less they like to have this conversation with the community and they don't necessarily want to just dump this stuff out there. So they made some adjustments. So they're calling this the Open Gaming License 1.2. And one of the big things they pointed out here that I thought was interesting was they want to protect D&D's inclusive play experience. So They want to make sure that there's no offensive, or hurtful content published using Dungeons and Dragons stuff. So they want inclusive, safe play for everyone. That's really important. And the Open Gaming License 1.0a didn't cover that. So, and I know that has been an issue in the past where some people have been like, oh, we've got races in this game and you're not going to like how we, depict them. And there's nothing D&D could do about that. They essentially had to be like, please stop. And they're like, fuck you. So this is something they're like, nah, we're going to make sure that this stuff stays, inclusive, which is good. And I do think that was true before, but I also think they were like, hey, we got to control this. So you can register and then we'll take 20 to 25% and then we can own your content, And then they said for tabletop RPGs and virtual tabletops, this new license will only apply to tabletop RPG content. Basically, it's funny because I actually went in and read the license for this, and it's interesting because they were specifically clarifying, they're like, virtual tabletop stuff is great, because this allows people to play remotely and everything like that, but they have a very clear distinction on what is cool and what is not. So they kind of give an example, static content is fine because it's just like looking at like the source book telling you what to do. So you can put the text of Magic Missile in your virtual tabletop. You can use it to calculate and apply damage to your target. You can automate Magic Missile's damage to replace your manual rolling and calculating is also fine. All that stuff is good. What isn't okay is that you don't, basically features that don't replicate your dining room table storytelling. If you replace your imagination with an animation of the Magic Missile streaking across the board to strike your target, or your VTT or virtual tabletop integrates our content into an NFT, that's not the tabletop experience. That's more like a video game. So for them, there's a clear distinction between kind of like the analog play and a video game. What do you think about that?
I would say this is where I wrestle with myself, because from one standpoint, I think I'm in agreement with that, because D&D started out as it was a tabletop. You use your imagination. Here is stuff that is outlined. Use your imagination to come up with that. But what it looks like, how these things operate, and like what they're giving you, the source stuff, is essentially imaginary, right? So if you are turning that into something that is tangible and physical, that's going away from what the original it's going away with what Wizards of the Coast or D&D had initially created. So I do think there needs to be a limit on if you're taking this stuff and you're making it into a completely different medium, like a video game. I think they need to pull the reins on that a little bit, for sure. I do think I'm more in that camp. I understand it. Now, the part of me that argues that is, things evolve. We're moving more towards the AI generated art and the tabletop simulators and the video game, more like what we're doing, with our D&D Beyond thing. Like that's really cool. And if it went a step further, I think that would be cool. And I do understand that progress marches that way, but I also understand from like, hey, I understand them needing to pull the reins back when it comes to moving into other, I guess we'll call it other mediums.
Yeah. It's interesting. Because it is a weird space that we're heading into, because theater of the mind is fantastic, right? We do a lot of that. When I initially started, DMing and stuff like that, I thought I needed to have a map for every single thing that we did, just because I liked the immersion of it. But then I also started realizing, A, to use a gross word, Justin, it's not scalable. And B, you don't always need something. And I can't plan for every single thing that's going to happen. So I can't have a set piece for every single thing. So it allows for, theater of the mind to take over. I feel like with combat personally, I feel like I need a battle map of sorts so that, you kind of plan that stuff because people have done that without. They're like, all right, combat's happening. There's 4 guys, go, and you're like, all right, I want to use fireball. Cool. Can I hit anybody? And you're just like figuring it out mentally.
Yeah.
I think that can get a little hairy sometimes.
I mean, they did it for 40 years. Like people have been doing it since, the 70s or 80s. So
I mean, a lot of people would get out like just some of that graph paper, and they would just mark it out and say where things are and whatnot.
But they didn't have anything officially like that they were constructing and then licensing themselves, or
correct.
selling themselves. Yeah.
Yeah. So for me, I prefer an actual battle map for battles because I think it also helps you really figure out cool tactics.
Yes.
Figuring out exactly what you want to do, how you want to go about it. It can take longer, but I think that's the way to go. So,
for example, when we played last Saturday and Drew did the amazing, I'm going to sprint at this person, jump over my character, Ash, do a flippy woo over this character, land on his shoulders, wrap my legs around his neck,
and kiss the back of his head.
Yes. Yeah. Gently stroke his hair.
Yes.
It was like, but to be able to see it laid out and how he was going to do that was awesome. Like that definitely helps for sure.
I think it's also just cool, to be in the world of imagination and then you actually see something where you're like, oh shit, like this is like, I love watching Critical Role. And when Matt Mercer brings out a battle map and people lose their fucking minds, they're like, oh my God, look at this. Oh, because he designs them all himself. He spends time painting them.
3D print them and stuff?
I think he gets the pieces and he glues them together and he does all of it. And he has help. He has awesome vendors and stuff that'll help him with certain things and whatnot. Yeah. But he takes a lot of time and effort to put that stuff together because there's something very special about having that piece that you can actually see and touch and feel. And I think that's really, really cool. So, but I'm in Wizard of the Coast camp here for this one. Like you cross a weird line when you're digitally creating and animating your characters and they're casting the spells. And it's like, how is this really any different than a video game, And that's not what this is. So for now, I reserve the right to change my mind on it. For now, I get it. Like it makes sense, as far as how that stuff goes and why they would want to do that. And they're like, no hateful conduct or content makes sense. And
that creator, absolutely. I'll never like that. Yes.
No one should use this stuff for,
yes.
Yeah. And creator product badge. So you'll have an option to include a badge on your works. So essentially being like, I made this and you slap it on there. Basically it's acknowledging that you are a creator and you are also part of this license and it's yours, so to speak. So I think that's kind of neat. Some other interesting stuff I thought in the fine print was someone like there's a question is like, can I make this monster token look like the one from the monster manual? And they're like, no, we've never licensed visual depictions of our content under the OGL, just like the text of the SRD. So that hasn't changed. You can create a creature called an owlbear with a stat block from our stuff. You cannot copy any of our owlbear depictions. But if you've drawn your own unique owlbear or someone else did it, you can use it. So I find that kind of interesting where they're like, you can't specifically take our art and use it. But if you draw your own, okay.
See, this is where it gets really hairy because how close to it can you draw yours before, like, if I take what they drew, I draw it. It looks exactly like it. But, maybe the nose on the owlbear is turned up slightly or the whatever, you know what I mean? Like it looks exactly the same, but it's wearing a piece of armor or something. Like, how close can you get it before they're like, no, that's too close to ours?
Because I get it. Like, they've created these creatures and this content over the years. Like the beholder is one of the classic ones. It's the creature that has a whole bunch of tentacles that have eyes attached to them. That's a classic D&D icon of that thing. To depict it or to rip that out and put that on there, I kind of get it, especially if you're making money off of it. Sure. I feel like it's such a weird area to traverse, though. You know what I mean? Like, it's so weird to go down this road and be like, well, this one's okay, but that's not. It's like, right. I guess
it gets subjective at some point, and that's really hard to police.
Yeah, so I'm okay with that. And there's enough creative stuff out there where you can kind of make that happen. Find other things to do that. But all in all, I think this is good. I think Richie goes, use Midjourney to create something that looks similar, just give it a different name. There you go.
There you go.
Yeah. I think this is a good thing. I think this is a better way to go about this, and it's also a conversation, is what they say in the article. They're like, hey, we want your feedback, and there's actually a survey down at the bottom. They're like, click on this button, take the survey, let us know your feedback, because we want to make this work. And I think that's the right way to go about it. And, that's what this community is. They're constantly, testing stuff out, creating stuff, and I think that's the good way to go about it. So tip my hat to Wizards of the Coast to making this happen.
Yeah, I'm glad they clarified. I'm wondering if some of this was like, frantic. Let's frantically roll some of the stuff back that got leaked, and then I wonder how much of this is like PR damage control, and then how much of this is actually like, no, you guys misunderstood what we were originally trying to say. Regardless, I'm glad that they specified. I'm glad that things are cleared up, and I am glad that it seems as though it's not as restrictive as they were, as it had initially been perceived to be.
Yeah, I agree. I think this is damage control. I think someone leaked that on purpose.
Yeah,
and I think it's for the best. So, Moon Silhouette 77. Hello, nice to see you. Thanks for stopping by. That was a weird accent. This night's full of it. This night's full of it all. You know what I mean? Oi. Anyway, let's talk. We mentioned AI. Let's talk about some AI.
Let's get into it.
Let's get into it. So, cavernous. Let's get into it. Cavernously. So there's this excellent article from Futurism that was actually shared in the Discord by Mr. Slotty Bartfast. Thank you so much for doing this. Slotty is a bit of an expert when it comes to search engine optimization, and this topic apparently has been hitting his neck of the woods pretty hard lately. And the title of this article is CNET's AI journalist appears to have committed extensive plagiarism. And they have AI written articles that aren't just riddled with errors. They also appear to be substantially plagiarized. So,
oh boy, here we go.
What's interesting is that this is kind of a long article, but it's worth checking out because so apparently what's interesting is AI deals with a data set. You have to feed it something to train it on, right?
Right. It needs. It can't just come up with stuff on its own. It needs something. It needs not only a prompt, but it needs to have a whole set of reference points to pull from.
Exactly. So what they found was not only did this AI that they created to create articles plagiarize itself within the own company, but it was plagiarizing like its rivals and its competitors. And I'll give you an example of some phrases and things like that. And I'll also pop this over to the web view so folks that are watching can see this. But here's an example. So take this excerpt, for instance, from a recent article by CNET AI about overdraft protection. It says, how to avoid overdraft and NSF fees. Overdraft fees and NSF fees don't have to be a common consequence. There are a few steps you can take to avoid them. And compare that verbiage to a previously published article in Forbes Advisor that says, how to avoid overdraft and NSF fees. Same title, except that there's a couple of, the stuff's not capitalized the same way. Overdraft and NSF fees need not be the norm. There are several tools at your disposal to avoid them. Basically saying the same thing. They've either just tossed in a couple of words or changed them, used some synonyms to make that happen. And they go on to show like several other examples of how this AI has essentially been just plagiarizing the shit out of stuff. Moon Silhouette says, plagiarize the plagiarizer to plagiarize. It's using its own sister site like for stuff. Like it is just constantly like just doing this stuff. And what I love, someone goes, you ever copy your homework off somebody, but they told you to kind of rephrase it? It's kind of what this thing is doing.
Yeah.
So they summarize a little bit of this. A close examination of the work produced by CNET's AI makes it seem less like a sophisticated text generator and more like an automated plagiarism machine, casually pumping out pilfered work that would get a human journalist fired.
Yeah.
It's interesting too because they also reference there's several lawsuits about this, about image generators that are going out currently.
Yeah. I mean, that's we've covered that extensively so far.
Yes.
Well, we haven't covered it. We've talked about it a lot. We haven't covered it extensively.
Yeah, we basically like, this is a thing that's happening. We're talking about it. But there was a philosophy professor at Northern Michigan University, who said, if a student presented the equivalent of what CNET has produced for an assignment in my class, and if they did not cite their sources, then I would definitely count it as plagiarism. And this professor in particular has made headlines because he discovered that one of his own students had submitted an essay generated using ChatGPT. And what he did with that was and I think the reason why he found it out is because it was way too coherent and well structured. That's how he was able to tell. He's like, hold on a second.
This makes too much sense.
Hold on a second. What's happening here? But he basically, he said this is something education has to adjust itself as well because people are using things like ChatGPT to create all sorts of shit, which again, I didn't even consider as an almost 40-year-old adult, how that affects, I'm telling it to write fan fiction about how Justin's foot fetish saved him from an assassination,
Right.
That's where my mind goes. But these kids are like, hey, help me with my homework. And I'm like, oh, fuck, is this the new Spark Notes?
Well, there was I was just talking with someone about this. Was it I can't remember who it was, but they're basically, they're in order to combat this, they're going to start making kids write essays longhand now.
That I've also heard that what this professor has done is he makes the kids turn in drafts of their stuff.
Interesting. Okay.
So you don't just be like, all right, write a paper, and everyone just writes a final paper. He's like, nope, you have to show me drafts of how you're coming along.
Iterations of how did it Oh, interesting. Okay.
Exactly. Yeah. And he actually, I thought was pretty cool, is he made the student do it over. He goes, the only way I would ever fail someone is if they keep doing it, Yeah. And he's like, this kids, they're here to learn. So the only way I'm going to teach them is if they actually do the assignment. So I'm just going to have them do it over again, which I'm like, that's pretty cool and whatever.
That tracks. Yeah.
Moonsilhouette says most things in colleges have to add where they find the information. So references, absolutely. I remember that in high school when I had to write my term paper. I had to show, my teacher was like, you have to give citations for everything that you use. And she also made it so that we had to put an idea down on note cards. So essentially it was a way of helping us outline how we were going to write a term paper. We had to take a 1-sentence idea, write it out on a note card. And then, which seems really annoying at first, where like as you're doing your research or whatever, like, fuck, I have to write these out. But when you put all of them together, you basically are like, oh, there's this idea, this idea, this idea. You're like, oh, it all strings together. And she told everyone, I'm going to pull one note card from every term paper that I read. And if that note card does not match what's in there, you fail. She's like, you can gamble. You can gamble. People have in the past. Maybe you get it. Maybe you won't. But is it worth it? She'd always put that in her mind. She's like, is it worth it?
Yeah, that's tough.
Like, I didn't do that. But I was like.
No, you're a rule follower.
I'm lawful good. All right? I can't help it. It's just who I am. So it's hard to be anything else. But I find this interesting because, again, I find the use of AI fascinating because I think there's some really great uses for eliminating the mundane things in our lives. I appreciate the idea of helping us as a collective elevate what we do. I kind of liken it to training. What would you rather go through? Would you rather go through a 1-hour training where I give you all the basic information about a topic, and I'm like, welcome to Red Dead Online 101. First things first, you're going to learn how to create a character. This is how you create your character. Second thing I'm going to show you is this is how you get on a horse. Third thing, this is how your friend kills you when you accidentally steal their horse. This is what happens. Or would you rather I give you some piece of information that teaches you that on your own, and then you come into my class and I say, great, you've all played this. Now let's talk about the nuances of this. Let's have a discussion about, let's take it to the next level. When I'm kind of in the learning and development field, I love nothing more than arming a learner with the basic ass knowledge that they can get on their own, and then they go into a training session where they can then apply what they've learned. Sure. And that's kind of how I view AI. I like AI getting rid of that basic level shit. Have this thing do the really mundane, menial, just soul-grinding functionality for us so we can step above to the next level of work, whatever that is, even if it's just like a quarter step above. Great. Let's just, don't do data entry anymore. You know what I mean? Let's have this thing take care of that for us, manually typing out contracts. Let's have this thing take care of that for us. That's, again, this is just my opinion. Some people may love that shit, and I don't want to steal that from someone's, day-to-day. But for me, I'm like, something that is just, the fact, I was explaining to Natalie what toll booths are. I go, you know what? This used to be, there used to be someone who sat in a booth all day and took people's money. And I tried to put myself in that. I'm like, dear God.
Right.
What a horrible job. If you asked me when I was 8 years old, I'd be like, that's the best job in the world. That job has to fucking suck. That would suck for me. That would be a nightmare job.
Absolutely.
Just 50 cents, 50 cents, 50 cents. Just, ugh.
Not only from just the standing there dealing with the assholes, the weather, but also the fact, for me, having to figure out change.
Yeah.
Math? Fuck that.
All day.
No, thank you. Yeah.
All day. That's what you're doing.
Because people are coming in with all sorts of different pills.
Oh, yeah.
If it's 85 cents, you got some people giving you $1. You got some people giving you a 20.
Yeah.
You got some people giving you just a handful of change. You got to count it out. I'm not playing that game.
Right. So then I told Natalie, then they became machines where you had to make sure you had exact change to get through there. I go, and now we have this thing that we attach to the windshield and we just drive through and it just automatically deducts it out of our account. And I look at that to me is progress and civilization. That is how you utilize technology to be more efficient. But I also understand that kind of stuff does take away jobs from people. But I also look at that, I'm like, that's a job we can get rid of. I'm sorry. We can.
Sure. Well, yeah. Yes. I'm stuck on the contract thing. Having AI go through, because you still have to have someone. You would still need someone to go through and manually double check the contracts that everything that the AI created is correct. So does that not seem like duplication of work?
Well, I'd say the implication there is that over time it will get more and more progressive where you won't have to. Obviously, there's going to be a transitional period where you're like, listen, man, I know what AI is capable of nowadays. I've seen the shit it makes. We're absolutely going to double and triple check this shit. But if it progresses to a point where it was nearly flawless, or to the point where it is flawless, it's perfect. Or you have.
Can you just put your faith in the fact that it's going to remain perfect?
Fine. Instead of having a bunch of people type out contracts, you have one person that reads them. You know what I mean? So you're still minimizing what needs to be done. The bulk of the work is done by the AI, and yeah, someone still has to read it and double check it. Sure. But someone's not sitting there going typing it out. Doing whatever they're doing, and this sucks. I got to put this brief together for this fucking trademark case. And it's super obnoxious, and the AI just does it. Instead, that person just goes, all right, let me review this, and they check it to make sure that it's cool.
I got to put this brief together for this case against Kraft Velveeta mac and cheese.
Right.
This
asshole's at it again. They're at it again. Richie says ChatGPT has taken research for certain sections on his podcast to the next level. We use so much AI on our show. You think AI will give me the boot in a few years. That's cool that you've done that. I think that's cool that you're using the tools that you have. And Moon Silhouettes. Go ahead.
If you're comfortable sharing, Richie, I'd be curious to hear how are you using it to research sections of your podcast? With what your podcast deals with, how are you using it to save you time, basically? But go ahead.
I'd be curious. Moon Silhouette says one thing to bear in mind is if the person is able to apply the info. Some people could be impaired in a way that affects them in performance. I say isn't it always the reason? That's true. And people can check the AI is still working. That's also true. So yeah, I mean, I also being inclusive here of all people and what they can do. I mean, that's where I feel like AI can also be helpful in that regard too, to some degree for some folks. But yeah, I mean, there will always need to be some sort of human element. I know a guy that I used to game with that used to work at, or I mean, I think he still does work for like a car manufacturing company, and he used to be in charge of manufacturing the cars, but then he actually got into servicing of the machines, and now the machines do most of the work at the plant, but he's the one that's in charge of fixing the machine. So he was able to pivot to be like, he kind of saw what was happening. He's like, I need to be one that fixes the things that make the cars. So, because from an efficiency standpoint, man, like machines, just they don't need to sleep.
I'm not going to argue with you there.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to, but there needs to be human oversight. I think that's kind of the point here is like, yes, would it be nice for you and I just to have an AI write fucking blog posts? We create a blog and the AI just farts this stuff out for us, and we're like, woo, baby, check out our shit, But we're always going to have to take a look at it. We always need to make sure that it's doing what it's doing, and we got to make sure it doesn't plagiarize. Like that's awful.
And also, I don't know. I just look at it, and this could be my limitation with understanding how AI works, how CNET was trying to use it or whatever. But I would argue again that to me, and this is just my initial opinion, I'm open to hearing arguments that can change this opinion, but to me, that ceases to be journalism if you don't have a journalist write it. If you've got some AI, because AI isn't really capable of putting together, again, come at me if I'm wrong on this, but I don't believe it's able to put together unique, comprehensive like opinions and thoughts. It's just a computer program spitting out the best possible combination of words that fit this prompt that you've given it, essentially. So
yeah,
journalism, I feel like, needs to actually there's investigative sides to it, there's opinion sides to it, there's a lot of different angles that journalists come at a topic from, and I don't know that AI has the ability to do that. So if you're using it to generate content, to me, it ceases to be journalism at that point.
Well, I would say
AI generated content, but it's not journalism.
I would say if in the current form, what I would say is have it write articles that are purely what journalism should be is fact, right? Have them scanning reports, have them scanning for statements and being like, this happened. Like, this is the thing that happened. This is the person said this person reported that.
That's not journalism. That's reporting. Journalism is taking a deeper dive and going in and asking the questions and investigating and researching.
Yeah, the AI shouldn't be doing. I don't think that's what we're at.
Like, I think
this should be reporting the news, not journalism. Right.
Exactly. I think if you want something just to crawl over all the like, if you want to send AI out to the Associated Press and just crawl over the highlights and like report back in a very general feed, you're basically creating Twitter, but okay, like we can do that, that's sure. But as far as journalism goes, I don't understand how CNET thought this was going to work.
Well, also, you got to love this headline. That almost sounds like it was written by an AI. It says CNET and Bankrate, which is CNET's sister company, say they're pausing AI generated articles until negative headlines stop.
It sounds like it was.
That's such a shitty thing. You're like, once this blows over, we're going to fire it back up. They're not like, hey, we're going to pause this to fix it. We're just like, hey, we're getting a lot of negative shit right now. Let's take a break,
It did. It did. Sounds like the AI. The computer was like, until people stop being mean to me, I will stop writing.
It almost sounds like a threat. It's like, we will stop. We will pause this until the negative headlines stop. And then you'll get it back.
That content. You won't be able to read us.
No.
Oh, you little dirty bitches.
Richie said rather than using Google to research genres, and for anyone who doesn't know, Richie does, you haven't heard this music podcast, so obviously very music-based stuff. Rather than using Google to research genres and info that we are about to talk about, we chat GPT it. Citation is often needed to be sure, but it's made a big difference. We have an AI host that does most of the reading for us. Our new logo was AI generated. Some of our promo includes AI animation. That's fucking cool, man. Moon Solomon goes, well, that is awkward. Pause it. Reads on podcast. The irony. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. That's good stuff. So I don't know. I'm whenever I see something, if anyone's tired of us talking about AI, fuck you. I'm endlessly fascinated by it, and I will forever.
If you want to be mean about it, until you stop being mean, we'll stop talking about
exactly.
AI.
Yeah, until you stop being mean, I'm going to keep talking about it. So I'm just endlessly fascinated in the applications of this because I can't wrap my head around what it is and how it can be used. But when I get little glimpses of what's possible, it gets me excited. And obviously the big, the big lawsuit that's going on right now with some of the AI stuff. Noah posted a really good breakdown of someone who was just talking about it in layman's terms, which what does this do? What's the data set that it uses to train on, and how does it sort of function? And it's so fascinating as this sort of plays out what it's going to mean and what the future holds. I'm endlessly fascinated by it, but also I love all the different perspectives in that I think most of the stuff this is cool, but this is also incredibly damaging to a lot of people. So I want to be sensitive to that sort of stuff. So let's keep talking about it.
My biggest thing is just with all of this AI, because I know a lot of the lawsuits and the criticism that the AI generated art bots and stuff that are catching is that it's crawling the entire internet and just pulling in as many reference points as it can, and there's no opt-out option.
Yes.
And I think that. And look, the argument can be made, and we can sit here and discuss, if you put something out on the internet, you are by default giving permission for, public consumption, yada, 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 whatever. I think there needs to be an opt-out from a moral standpoint. I think there needs to be an opt-out option.
There should be an opt-in option. It should be default.
You know what? Absolutely. Let's flip the script on that. There should be yes, use my art to help further this. Delve further the innovation and the learning of this computer.
I don't like the idea of you have to say no, otherwise it's consent. It's how about we just start with consent?
That's absolutely. That's a very fair point. Yeah. And the same thing goes with journalism. I feel people could say, yeah, please take my articles, take anything I've written and you use it, but by default, don't pull my shit.
Yeah, exactly. Don't pull my shit. Well, that's enough AI talk for now. It's time to get dirty. But Moon Silhouette says AI can help folks. Bear in mind, it depends on the needs of the individual who needs it. 100%.
Absolutely. Yeah. No
100% agree.
It can be helpful.
It's literally the future. It's going to grow exponential like most technology. 10 years' time, it won't be talked about as it will just be the norm, just be like the internet and mobile phones are today. 100%. 10 years, I'd say give it 2-3 years and see where we are. It's moving at such a rapid pace. Yeah. Microsoft just pumped $10 billion into OpenAI.
Jesus.
For their shit. So this is happening.
Because of that, I think that the conversations being had now are that much more important.
Paramount.
This kind of shit needs to get ironed out before it becomes the norm, and you can't put that toothpaste back in the tube.
100%. We got to be, and that's what this video that's in our Discord talks about. Is we absolutely need to be having these conversations now because this is evolving. So we need to figure out where we are. Let's take a barometer test and let's continue to evaluate it. So here come the AI memes. Bring them on! All right, gang. Well, it's time again. It's time for our segment where I talk like William Shatner. It's Guessing 10 Marvel Edition. So still don't have a theme song. Maybe an AI could write one for us. But this is
I like our 0.7 seconds of a DC theme song for our Marvel themed. I like the.
I think it fits. I think it fits really well. So if this is your first time checking this out, the way this works is it's basically 20 questions, but you get 10, and this is about Marvel characters. And so I've got some cards, and apparently Justin has some stuff that my wife sent to him. So apparently Justin and I are going head to head on this one. And I'm also going to say this. Do you want to have a clue or no? Do you want to include clues in this one or no? Or you just want to go heads up?
Well, the clues, I read through the clues on your cards, and I feel like they are going to be dead giveaways.
So should we just do no clues?
Yeah, you know what? Let's do
no clues. Heads up, straight up, no clues. I'm good. Justin, basically, we'll read each other 2 buzzwords on the card. That will be like our initial clues. Then we have up to 10 questions to ask to figure out, and we get 2 guesses. No clues this time, so it's just straight up. So, Justin,
Yes.
you're going to go first.
All right.
You ready?
I'm ready. Let's do
Okay,
this.
here we go. And chat, we'll see. Moonzilla demon voice intensifies. All right, Justin, here you go.
Wait, are we both going to bring the chat down? Because
yeah, I tell you, yeah. When it's my time, I'll minimize it. Until then,
minimizing chat for me now.
Cool. All right, here we go. Your buzzwords are. I almost read the name of the person. I almost did it last time. I literally was saying your buzzwords are blah blah blah.
Blah blah blah. Yeah.
Okay, buzzwords: green, survivor.
Green. Survivor.
Survivor.
Is this character a hero?
Yes.
Is this character a scientist?
No.
Okay. Green and a survivor. Is this character male?
No.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Is this character? That was the laziest.
It was. There we go. Nice.
There we go. I knew I had it. Is this a hero? Not male.
Also known as female.
Look.
I'm sorry.
I'm not presuming.
You know what? You're right.
I'm just saying.
You're right. I'm sorry. That was very dumb of me. That was very genderist of me to do that.
Look, the only reason I specified not male was because that was the question I asked, and that was how you answered. So I don't want to presume anything based off of last week.
That's
last
fair.
Week's debacle.
Yeah, it was a debacle. That
guests
clip will be
around
coming
the
out
world.
soon also, so stay tuned.
Okay, cool. So hero, female, and not a scientist. Okay.
Correct.
Is this individual a incredibly skilled fighter?
Yes.
Okay. Is this individual someone's adopted daughter?
Yes.
Is this Gamora?
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you want to go for the bonus question?
Yes.
Oh, shit. All right.
I said that without even thinking. I was like, sure. And then I remembered, and I'm like, oh, these suck.
Okay, here you go.
Yeah. Okay.
Gamora is described as the most blank woman in the universe. Fill in the blank. Gamora is described as the most blank woman in the universe.
Feared? I'm going with feared.
No.
Okay.
It's
That's
dangerous.
Fine. Dangerous.
Which is dangerously close.
It is, yeah.
But not quite.
That's fair. That's fair.
Unfortunately, you don't get that point at all. But,
That's fair.
I respect it. You're like,
We're going for it.
You're going for it. All right. My
Dangerous
turn.
does make more sense than feared. Yeah. All right.
I could think of many words, but I better not. All right, buddy.
I'm bringing my chat back up now.
Okay. I almost said deleting mine, but yeah, I just minimized it. Lay it on me. Here we go.
So your buzzwords are strong, warrior.
Strong and warrior. Okay, strong and warrior. Is this a hero?
Yes.
Okay. Is this a man?
Yes.
Is this person from Earth?
No.
Is this person associated with the Guardians of the Galaxy?
Doug, this is going to be one of those last week.
Is this? Okay, let me rephrase.
You know, I'm going to answer this. But you could go. I see it because you're trying to interpret how the other person might interpret it. Here's what I'm going to say. I'm going to say no.
Okay.
I'm going to say, was that 4?
That's 4.
Yeah. I'm going to say no. I'm going to say no.
You sound like you're going to expand. I'm going to say no. I'm going to say no. Okay. So not associated with the Guardians of the Galaxy. Kind of a wishy-washy answer on that one, but I'll keep that in mind.
That could be a clue enough for you too, you know?
Okay. So this is strong fighter?
Strong warrior.
Strong warrior. Strong warrior. Strong warrior. See, now I'm overthinking your answer to that. I'm overthinking it. I'm like, strong warrior, not from Earth. Okay, is this human?
No.
No. Okay. Strong warrior, not from Earth. Hero, strong warrior, not from Earth. Is this person from Asgard?
No.
That's where I thought that. Are they associated with? That would be dumb. It wouldn't be Thor because we already did Thor. But I was just like, are they associated with Guardians of the Galaxy? You're like, well, technically,
Not at first, but maybe.
Maybe. Does this person have blue skin?
Oh man, it depends on what the color setting on your TV is. I'm gonna say no. I'm also basing it off the picture here, and on the picture, it's a hard no.
Okay. That's fine because it gave me the answer I was looking for.
Okay.
Okay. Is this person in the MCU?
Yes.
This is where it sucks because you're like, all right.
Yep, you're getting that. You're like, all right, I'm right here.
I know they're out there. Not from Earth. They're a hero. It's a dude. Not associated with Guardians of the Galaxy. They're not a human, correct?
Correct.
Not a human. So I got to wipe those filthy humans out of my mind. Who's a hero that's not from Earth? That's in the MCU. What were those buzzwords again?
Strong and warrior.
Are they made of rocks?
Yes.
Is it Korg?
Yes, it is.
Yes!
Nicely done.
Got it.
How'd you get there? You got to tell me.
So I was like, I kept thinking of humans, even though you said it wasn't a human, and I finally
It's
was
so hard not to not do that. Yeah.
And I was like, I gotta wipe this away. And I was like, okay, who is it? Because I was like, well, it's Captain Marvel. I'm like, no, that's a human, that's a woman. And I was like, who's left? I was like, MCU, think about the MCU. And I was like, kind of just scanning through things. And then I was like, wait. Like, and he just sort of popped in there. And I was like, oh, that's who it is. That's who it is.
There you go.
Got it. Not going for the bonus question.
You can see why I was like, when you were like Guardians, because I'm like, well, he is with them in Love and Thunder. Like he's in that same, so when you asked that, I was like, I don't know. And what color would you say he is in the Marvel?
He's grayish,
Grayish.
he's rock colored.
Yes, you could be saying.
His name's Stone, by the way.
Who were you thinking with the blue? You said-
It was because you said not Guardians. I was thinking maybe Yondu.
Ah, okay.
But you've obviously would have said yes for Guardians of the Galaxy for that one. So I was like, he's also not necessarily strong. So
right.
So I was like, just to clear it out of my head. So
you're going with the bonus question?
No.
Oh, you're not.
No.
Okay.
No. I gotta go for the lead here. All right. Are you ready?
I am ready. I am bringing my chat down now.
Okay, here we go. Your buzzwords are warrior and protector.
Is it Cork? No. Go ahead. Warrior, protector.
Yes.
Warrior and protector. Okay. Is this a hero?
Yes.
Okay. feel like the first three are always like you got to get those out of the way.
Natalie's gotten those down. You know.
Exactly. Is this male?
Yes.
Okay. So what was it? Oh,
Hero.
Hero. You said warrior protector was the two.
Yes, warrior protector.
Okay. Cool. So hero, male, warrior protector. Is this person in the MCU?
Yes.
Okay. Is this person human?
Yes.
Is this person? Is this person originally from Earth?
No. That's a specific way of wording that.
Yeah. I was thinking.
Because you say originally, I mean.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm thinking of someone who doesn't currently reside on Earth, but is from Earth. Like so when you say, where are you from? Currently, I would say Grand Rapids, but I'm from the Quad Cities. How do you, so you get it. Was it 5?
That's 5.
Okay, great. Does this person have special powers?
Yes.
Male. Not from Earth. Hero. Special powers.
Warrior protector.
Is this person from Asgard?
Yes.
Is this person a father?
No.
Ooh, damn. We got 2 more to go. All right. From Asgard.
He's getting close. He's getting close.
Does this person wield a sword?
Yes.
Is it Heimdall?
It is!
Yes! Nice. I am not going to go for the bonus question because I need at least a point.
Probably smart. Probably smart. All right, baby.
Nothing if I do. All right.
All right. Minimizing.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Here we go. God damn it. All right. Your buzzwords are strong and villain. Do you want to ask if they're a hero first?
Okay. Is it a dude?
We'll say yes.
The fuck does that mean? We'll say yes.
Oh, can I real quick?
Mm-hmm.
What I was thinking when I said originally I was thinking Peter Quill, right? Because
that's why I was like, when you say stuff like that, you're going to put weird things like, are they originally from Earth? That's going to include anyone who is on Earth plus like Captain Marvel and Peter Quill. So
right.
I feel like there's a dangerous way to go about it, but whatever, you do you. All right. Okay. So you're going to say that, yes, it's a guy, which I find to be weird.
Do they have that anywhere on here?
Do they have their gender?
Oh, you know what? Sorry. Yes. Yes. A guy. Yes. I just read something in the facts that I'm like, okay, yes.
Okay. Still giving me a lot of trepidation there, but okay.
Hardcore guy.
So again, it's a total just honking dude, man.
This is a dude.
This is a dude through and through, y'all. Fucking big old guy. His nipples are just the right size. That's how you know it's a dude. All right, so is it strong and villain? Is that what you said?
Strong and villain, yes.
Strong villain. Are they from Earth?
No.
Okay. Strong villain. Are they human?
No.
Are they in the MCU? You don't sound too sure about that.
No, they're not. Let me Google something real quick.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Google something real quick, because at the end of the day, folks, we got to be right here. We got to guess this. We got to do the right thing. And if you're on your own, being like, I have an idea who this is, just
great. No, not in the MCU.
No, not in the MCU.
Yes,
not in the MCU. Not from Earth.
Correct.
Are they from the Spider-Man universe?
Yes.
Do they have a symbiote?
Yes.
Is it Carnage?
Yes.
Yes. That was one of the ones.
Symbiotes don't have a sex assigned to them. But then I was like, well, Cletus Cassidy.
Yes.
Is who? So I'm like,
the person it's attached to.
Exactly. Yeah. And then when we decided that, I was just like, well, are they from Earth? Because Cletus is, but
yeah, right.
Symbiote's not. Yeah.
Yeah. Oof. Yeah. That was one of the ones in there when I was thumbing through this, just in general to see who was in the deck. I'm like, oh fuck, I don't know if I'm ever gonna get that one because I just don't think of Carnage.
Here's the thing: is that at the bottom here, it says Earth, but the symbiote is not from Earth.
I guess the thing is, like, who's Venom? Venom is the guy that the symbiote attaches to, right?
Because the symbiote does not identify itself as... Well, no, does it, though?
Well, that's who the character is most synonymous with, right? Like, technically, Peter Parker has been... The symbiote is attached to him, and he's had the black suit, and he was that, but he wasn't necessarily Venom. Venom is the character, Brock or whomever, and Carnage is technically that symbiote attached to that serial killer. Carnage is that guy that also has that symbiote. That's how I would look at it, and I probably would have fucked your world up if I would have given that one to you.
Said yes, he's from Earth, based off of the fact that it says Earth down here.
Yes, because I realized it's probably good to go with those things on the side. Probably.
Yeah. Well, and that's All right, I will for future. I will reference these things in this. We'll go purely based on these cards.
Yes, the cards will have to be our guide, for better or worse.
Because there are ways that you can interpret, like what our discussion last week. Like there are ways you can interpret the Thor God thing. There's ways you can interpret is the symbiote the star here.
That's a fair point. Well, just like there's also some iterations of like villains, like in say the MCU, a character may be female, but in the classic comic they may be male. So I think it's important to call that out when someone says, "Are they male or female?" We can clarify. So. Moonslow, it says, I thought Carnage and Venom when I heard Spider-Man. See, I knew we already had done Venom, so I took Venom out because I was thinking this might be Venom, but I was like, nope, we've already done Venom, so no. Get it out of here. Well, Justin, that was bravo. And honestly, that's a moral victory because you got that one. Because here's what I'll say. And this sort of heads up, if you go for a bonus question and you get it, and the other person gets there too, you win because you took the risk and you got the bonus that sets you above.
That's true. Yeah.
That sets you up. And I would say if we tie, we then have to choose which one we did and go for bonus questions and see which one of us can get them.
Yeah.
I think that'll be kind of like the tiebreaker. So
I like this. I like these rules.
We're making it happen. We're making it happen, baby. And I love doing this. This is one of my favorite things to do. I look forward to this.
This is fast becoming one of my favorite new segments.
I love it. And we'll be through this deck in no time. So
we're going to have to figure something else out real quick.
Yeah, but I'm thoroughly enjoying this. So, and if you're playing along at home, hope you're having fun too. Otherwise, just like I said about AI, fuck you. So, yeah. Anyway, Justin, what do you have to recommend this week?
I am going to recommend, it just picked up some nods in the old Academy Awards, Glass Onion, A Knives Out Mystery. I really liked the first one, and I was very excited for the second one, and I was not disappointed. Was it a perfect movie? No. Was it a shitload of fun? Abso-fucking-lutely it was. Ryan Johnson, like I said this to you when I watched it, we originally talked about it. To be able to conceptualize of a whodunit like this, where there's so many moving pieces, to conceptualize of it, to write it, and then to film it, and end up with a coherent story, a very coherent and entertaining story. Whether or not you liked the end or you were like, oh, it was okay, the entire rest of the movie, that is a Herculean feat. So hats off to anyone who can do that. I would love to do that, but man, I'm just not smart enough. But it is so much fun to watch. I'm a sucker for a good whodunit. I think that makes for a really fun movie. So Rian Johnson did an incredible job. I'm very excited to see what he does for Knives Out 3.
They're doing a third one.
They are. I think
awesome.
When Netflix bid on this, they spent about $450 million to get 2 and 3, to get 2 sequels to the original. So they apparently there's a big bidding war, and Netflix won out. And so there will be a third. But I listened to Rian Johnson's got a producing partner that's stuck with him for, I think he's produced every film that Johnson has done up to this point. At least every major film he's done up to this point. And he was on a podcast. I was listening to the guy, and he goes, Ryan's really busy with, this was recorded a while ago when it was coming out. He goes, he's very busy with press on this. He's going to need a little bit of time between finishing press on this to decompress and then start thinking about what the next thing could be. Because you don't want to, in a movie like this, you cannot repeat any plot points. So you've really got to keep, so he goes, Ryan needs to really sit down and take some time for himself to figure out. So he goes, he's really good. He sits down with a notebook and he plots the whole thing out before he writes it. So he's got it'll be a while. So it's coming. It's just going to be a little bit of time.
No rush. Yeah. Get to it whenever you get to it, Ryan. All right. Yeah. It's totally good.
What do you got, Dougie?
I recommend the movie Athena on Netflix. If you like one shot or tracking shots, this movie will make you jizz in your pants. Like, really? The opening sequence is 10 minutes, all one shot, and it's chaos. It starts out calm, and it just erupts into absolute chaos. It takes place over 24 hours, and it deals with these 3 brothers who their youngest brother is killed, and the aftermath that happens after the fact. I will say, plot-wise, kind of falls apart in the third act, but just visually phenomenal. Like it's actually really impressive how they're able to tell a story with so many tracking shots. Like, because you don't have time to like cut away and get like back and forth dialogue. You just get bits and pieces here and there. And there's some moments where they obviously aren't doing tracking shots, but the way it makes you feel as you're just sort of witnessing this stuff happen is wild. And I really enjoyed it. Again, the story kind of falls apart at the end for me, but totally worth watching just for, it's a cinematic experience, and it's on Netflix right now. And I saw like just a little bit, like for like it came up on, the suggested things, and it kind of did the autoplay for it. I'm like, look, I don't know what this is, but I'm going to check it out. And I was like watching, and I'm sitting there going, I don't think they've cut away yet. I kept waiting for the point. I'm like, oh, they should probably cut away now. It's been 4 minutes. And they're still going. I'm like, Jesus Christ, how much longer are we going to go? And these are not simple shots either. Yeah. We are moving from location to location in real time. Like, there's riots happening. It is nuts. I'm like, holy shit. And there's so many of those shots in the film. So if you want like a very interesting experience, I say check out Athena on Netflix. It's
you sold me. I'm me. Cool. That's all I needed to hear.
I love a one-shotter, dude. There's movies where they just have just one scene that is a one scene, like one shot take, and I'm like, oh wow, this movie is just littered with them. So
that's awesome.
Go have fun. It's interesting. Cool. So woo! Well, gang, thanks so much for hanging out with us this week. This was another fun one, so thank you so much. Thanks to everyone who's chatting us up. Richie and Moon and Seth and Zinni and Noah for stopping by. We appreciate you. And, you could be part of the show as well. Just hop by when we live stream on Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Central, youtube.com/MindGapPodcast. You can also join me on Friday nights at 8 p.m. Central for the video game live stream, which is great. And check us out on YouTube, check out our videos. We've got a whole playlist of shorts, a bunch of our dumb shit that we kind of clip together. It's always a lot of fun, as well as other playlists and things like that. So please feel free to check us out there. And, like, subscribe, share that stuff around. It means the world to us. We're getting close to 300 subs, which is huge. When I think about how far we've come in a short amount of time, like, this has been really big. So thank you all for your support. You all are wonderful. We appreciate you. We love you. And as always, check out the Discord link in the below. Join our community. Check out our merch, redbubble.com, patreon.com/mindgappodcast for all that sort of, if you want to throw some monetary stuff our way, you're welcome to. And also, don't forget to follow Justin online as well.
On Instagram at Justin_Michael, spelled Mikel. It's the fun way of spelling it. While you're in the online realm, check us out on any of the podcast apps where you find and consume quality podcasts. You will find us there. We'd love it if you would rate, review, subscribe, share around all the things that we ask you to do every week. They mean so much to us, and they take such little effort from you. And it would, again, mean so much. And isn't that what this is about? What means a lot to us? At the end of the day,
yes,
I think that's what this is really all about. And then 2east8th.com and 2east8th on all social medias, and then loveanimprovfilm.com and loveanimprovfilm on Instagram.
Yeah. Well, gang, until next time, you all get together, be cool. Remember, tell Trevin to get out of the goddamn garbage because the raccoons are going to get him. Kaylin, take care of your brother. And with that, I'll say, Justin, thank you.
Douglas, thank you.
Chat, thank you.
Listeners, thank you.
And you all have a dandy fucking week. Dadgum! 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 Moon Silhouette, thanks so much for stopping by. Justin, Moon Silhouette is a Richie, good night. Thank you for stopping by. Moon is a streamer on Twitch, and I watched them play Among Us.
Yeah.
And I watched a couple big plays. They were playing the hide and seek stuff, and they did some amazing moves. It was great. And Natalie actually came in while I was watching, and she just sat on my lap, and she's like, she was enthralled with the game. Completely just
that's fantastic.
I was like, all right, I'm gonna head downstairs, and she's like, can I keep watching? I'm like, I mean, you can if you want, go for it. And she just sat there and just watched her stream for an hour.
Way to go, Moon. Way to create some enthralling content. That's fucking awesome.
Yeah, I told him, I said, hey, just so you know, Natalie watched. She was like, sorry, I throw in the occasional French word here and there. I'm like, she lives with me. It's fine. So it's all good.
That's so cool.
But at one point, she goes, oh, Dad, because she kept rooting for them to become the imposter.
Yeah.
And Natalie was like, oh, they were the imposter and they almost got them all. She was just totally rooting. It was great. And that thing that you posted in our Discord, Moon, where you were dodging the hunter, Natalie was going, as they were coming by you and stuff like that. It was, I think it's important for you to know that we were rooting for you. So, it's very, very exciting stuff. So thanks for the stream. And I'm looking forward to catching more of your streams. I've added you to the auto notify thing in our Discord. So whenever you go live, it'll just ping to everyone automatically. So keep up the good work. I did highlight some secret rounds that I went, good. I like that. Share that stuff. We appreciate it. It's always good. We love supporting other streamers. So you're the best around. Nothing's ever going to keep you down. Yeah, post them. Post them in the community content section. Let people know. Show people what you got to offer. And we'll get some people checking out your streams and stuff like that. So, which is super cool. All right, gang. I think it's time. It's time for us to end this here stream. But check in Friday, 8 p.m. Central. I think we're playing some Ultimate Chicken Horse. So if you want to watch me struggle for 2 hours while I play a platform that we build from scratch and try to murder each other in this night hellscape of a platformer, it'll be a good time. The other people that I play with are much better than me. I don't think I've won. I think I've only won a game once or twice. So I struggle, but it's fun to watch me struggle. So anyway, you all have a wonderful evening. Take care of yourselves. Be kind, and we'll see you next time. Later, gang.